Welcome back, people. I have some refreshing beverages with me this time because it is the hottest day, well, probably maybe the second hottest day. It was the hottest day yesterday, but the warmth has not left. So I am boiling. I've got a drink with me, so let's crack this open. Please don't blow up. Nice. As usual, we're going to be discussing the books, podcasts, and any other random thoughts I've had this week. It has been a surprisingly long week. I look back at the list of notes I've made of the things I want to talk about, and I realized, damn, a lot's actually happened since then. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the book I've been reading this week is Artemis by Andy Weir, also the author of Project Hail Mary. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. It's amazing. I'm gonna be honest. At first, when I was reading this book, I was like, I don't like this character. They seem a bit cocky, and I'm finding them a bit annoying. Maybe I was just in a bad mood, but I put the book down, and then I started hearing about something called sunk cost fallacy. The idea that just because you spent money, you're now going to waste more of your time trying to prove to yourself that this thing was worth it. But you know what? I decided to give it a second chance, and I'm so glad that I did. It was a great book. I really enjoyed it. To give you guys a little background on what the book's about, basically this girl, she is a citizen of a colony on the moon, and she is a smuggler. She gets into some dodgy dealings, and then there's lots of twists and throws, and then some things happen. I'm going to give you a big spoiler, but for those of you who do not want to get it spoiled, skip forward maybe 10 seconds or so. But just for those of you that don't like bad endings, this book is a good ending. I can promise you that. So if that's the thing that holds you back from reading a book, you'll be happy. Yeah, I'm super happy I managed to finish this book in a week. The kind of thing I'm trying to keep up, reading one book a week. It's not too much for me to ask for. Every time I just want to go on my phone, instead I just read the book. So if those of you are thinking of like, hey, I need to snap this habit of going on my phone too much, maybe pick up a book instead. I'm probably better for you. So, okay, I've also been watching a podcast recently, and this one was about a CIA interrogator or something like that, or body language guy, I don't know. But he was saying the definition of confidence. If someone asked me to define what that was, I'd have a hard time doing it without using the word itself. I'd probably say something like feeling good about yourself. But he used a different definition. It is your ability to handle social injury. Someone making fun of you, or feeling embarrassed. Something along those lines. And I was like, you know what? That sounds better than what I was going to say. I feel like I particularly probably lack in that area. Probably something that I guess you just need to work on, like many other things, and just it gets better as you go on. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting definition of the word. There's so many different ways you could describe the definition of one word, and yeah, I particularly like that one. And the next thing I want to talk about which he mentioned was that the most followed politicians and people tend to speak in a way that is relatively simple and low level. I think he said was Obama spoke at an 8th grade level. I might be wrong. It was something like that. I don't know what 8th grade is. I'm not an American. Is it year 9 or something? Not a clue. But yeah, that's what he mentioned, and I can kind of understand that because it allows a wider audience of people to listen to you, and also sometimes it can come across that someone might be trying to be manipulative if they're using lots of big words, you know. I could see how someone would think that, or I would think that anyway. Next thing I want to get to, this is probably the most important point. If you watch this long into the video, thank you guys, but this is the most important point I want to put forward to you guys. Seeing your friends. This is probably my biggest weakness as a person, is that I tend to neglect seeing my friends all the time, or even just making time for them. I don't think I'm particularly great at it. Definitely something I need to get better at. I'm just sometimes so focused on whatever it is I'm doing, I just forget. And it's not the position you want to be in at all. I forget that it's okay to have fun sometimes, and you don't have to work all the time on something, even though I enjoy what I'm doing. But yeah, I think it's important to make time for people who you're friends with. And I want to talk about something called the lonely chapter. The lonely chapter uses a specific word called lonely. Not alone, it's lonely. Not that a lonely chapter, it's lonely. So having the lonely chapter doesn't mean you're necessarily by yourself. It more means that you can't relate to 100% of everyone around you. Maybe you can in certain ways, but no one's the exact same goals as you or whatever, or the exact same. It's very rare that you'll find that. If you've got brothers or sisters, maybe you will. I don't know, but it's not the alone chapter, and I always find myself isolating away from other people so I don't get judged about the things I want to do and pursue. And I think that's the wrong mindset to have. Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments. Now, you're probably wondering, why do I have a toilet roll?
I did not spill my drink.
I just want to know, which is the proper way to have the toilet paper on the rack? I think it's this way, but some people have it that way. Let me know what you think. I saw this debate online. I'm this kind of guy, but let me know what you think. Last thing I wanted to talk about was some people think in only through words and they can't see images in your head. And there's a little test that you can do to see which kind of person you are. Some people think in words and only see words in their head. Some people see images, and there's some maybe a bit in the middle, but the level of complexity you can see within the image also differs between people. And I think that's somewhat related to maybe photographic memory. Those with those kinds of memories probably have much higher detailed images in their mind. So I want you to do a test to figure out which kind of person you are. I want you to think about an apple, and I want you to think about what color it is, whether it's the same color all the way through, or maybe it's a bit of a degraded red and turning into a green, or is there a stalk, is there no stalk, how big is it, curvature, can you see light on it? Just what kind of detail can you get from the apple? It'll tell you how your brain works, whether you're just a single word, maybe you can't even see the apple. I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section below. As always, thank you guys for watching this video. I love making these. I need to start uploading more frequently throughout the week. Things just got a bit heavier this week. I look forward to talking to you guys next week. Whichever book I decide to read then. I could give you a hint, but I'm not sure which of the books I'm going to read, so I'll leave it as a surprise. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.